that have transpired in Canada over the past few years, whether it is the virus mandates, the digital IDs, the whole emergency, that freezing people's bank accounts and banning freedom of speech and freedom of assembly in British Columbia, all this sort of stuff. You know, I could see the total banning of handguns coming a mile away because, you know, I'm going to say this, and, you know, I'm going to say this. I'm just, you know, I'm not trying to be ugly or anything, but, you know, you Canucks until fairly recently have been pretty compliant. You've been a bunch of sheep. You've been faithfully voting for the liberals like the fools you are. I mean, as I've said, you know, Canucks, y'all don't know how to run a nation. And I'm not saying this to be ugly. I'm saying this because it's the truth, and the truth will set you free. But recently, many, not all, I would dare say not even most, but a lot of Canadians have started to stand up, and you've had the righteous and amazing trucker convoy up there in Ottawa and Coots, Alberta. You've had many different people heckling these globalist leaders. You know, there's the start of the trucker convoy. Jagmeet Singh's getting heckled, Trudeau getting heckled, even by natives he's getting heckled. He was up there on a native reserve. Even the native Indians, they're heckling him. They don't want him. Trudeau and his slave, his little Uncle Tom, Jagmeet Singh, they can't step 2 feet from the house without getting heckled. So Canadians are slowly beginning to stand up and rise up. And now what you're hearing is Justin, the tar-faced Mac Daddy Trudeau, son of Satan, among another earthly father. We don't know who the earthly father is. It could be Pierre Trudeau. It could be Fidel Castro. But we know that his spiritual father, Satan. We know that for sure. So Justin, the tar-faced Mac Daddy Trudeau has now come out and said he's banning handguns. There's no more handguns. Look at that disgusting. Look at that son of a bitch's face. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look like he's never been told no a day in his life. No. Anyway, he's now saying he's banning handguns, and it's going to be enforced, I believe, sometime next year. On top of that, giving the Canadian Border Services Agency more powers to search your cell phones, search your laptops, search all sorts of stuff for what we don't know. But you see, he realizes, the globalists realize that Canadians, which used to be the most compliant, the most good, the most polite, the most just tame people, they're beginning to rise up now. They are beginning to rile up stuff. And so now he's going to ban handguns because he said, I'm not going to let these Canucks get in the way of my digital ID and my mandates and my freezing people's bank accounts whenever I want to. And digital IDs and, you know, allowing the border to search up anything they want to search up, and, you know, all this sort of searching without a warrant and all this sort of the foolishness that's going on. I can't let these Canadians get in my way. Oh, no, I'm going to ban these handguns, and I'm going to make the excuse that what happened in Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York, which, by the way, those were AR-15, AK-47, and all those stuff. He didn't use a handgun. I've never heard of a mass shooting with a handgun. Handgun is literally to protect yourself. You know, first of all, I support all guns. AR, AK, I don't care. As long as it's a gun, I think that the people should have the same guns that the police have. I'm just telling you that right now. An armed society is a free society, and an armed society is a polite society. Nevertheless, you ain't never heard of a You've never heard of a mass shooting taking place with a handgun. Handgun is there to protect yourself, to protect your home. Look at those little kids, those little babies down there in Uvalde, Texas. Police were too cowardly. Those little cowardly little police there, those coward cops didn't even want to go into the school when those little children were being shot up like dogs, like ducks, like little, just, I don't even know. They were killed like flies, just killed by that little miscreant, mischievous, misfit child there from North Dakota. He slaughtered those kids. Those police were too busy bullying the parents who were demanding the police do something about it, instead of those police taking their cowardly ass into the school and putting a bullet in that little misfit's butt right between the cheeks. They were too cowardly to do that. But anyhow, you tell the police to go and give someone a ticket for not wearing their mask properly or for not following the vaccine mandate. Oh boy, at least the Canadian police, they are on you in a second. They are on you in a second. They will go after you. You're not wearing your mask properly. You're not following these mandates. You're flying on a plane or trying to fly on a plane and you're not vaccinated. Oh, those police gonna come down hard on you. But anyhow, some little kids, little babies can't defend themselves. Those police, I ain't going in there. I'll stick with bullying these little parents over here. They're easy. I ain't going in there with that madman shooting up them little babies. That's not what I signed up for. That's why I strongly support people being able to arm themselves when the police fail us, like they've been doing a lot more often. I don't care who tells me you should be respectful. Back the blue. Shut up with all that nonsense. Shut up with all that nonsense. Seeing those little babies getting killed, those police down there not doing a damn thing about it. That could probably happen here too. And now you got this little tar-faced son of a hoe, Mad Daddy Trudeau, saying no more handguns. No, you got to rely on you got to rely on the cops. If they feel like saving you, and by the way, you know who's going to have the guns now? The government and the criminals. So you're going to have crazy incel, r/nice guys, never been able to get a girlfriend, little punk kids, white supremacist, white replacement theory little kids, who will find a way to get a gun illegally, or they'll use a vehicle like the Alec Manassian, running over blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls, or killing kids in a school, or shooting up a mall, or you'll have some gang thug boy shooting up some neighborhood or something like that, and you know, nobody, you know, well, if kids get hit by the crossfire, well, that's their damn problem, another statistic, and nobody will be able to protect themselves, not even with a handgun. Forget AR-15, forget none of it. You ain't gonna even get a handgun. Watch them ban BB guns next. In fact, that's already sort of banned, actually, you know? And then, of course, you've got the government also having the guns, and they'll be able to do digital ID, any mandates. Hey, we're going to have, I hear about this monkeypox. Oh, we're just going to have we're going to lock down the place. Nothing you can do about it. Digital ID, the border thugs down there, you know, they're not, those border people, those Canadian Border Services agents, those thugs, those pigs, and that's what I am calling them. They're pigs. They're not, because they're not doing their job going after those illegals at Roxham Road. They're actually helping them across to come into our country illegally, to give them all our resources and everything. And you got Canadians, natives struggling with poisonous drinking water. Those Canadian Border Services people helping the illegals across. But anyhow, I come into my own country. Oh, I don't got no vaccine, don't got no corona test. I'm going to give you a ticket. I'm going to lock you up. I'm going to do all that stuff. That's why I call you a pig. Do your fucking job and stop those people coming in illegally with your lazy, stinking self, and stop bullying people who can't fight you back. And then you want to take away all the guns, these government people taking away all the guns and all this stuff so they can carry on with their foolishness in peace. Well, I say don't give up your guns. Canadians, I'm going to tell you this. I don't care. Do not give up your guns. You got a handgun, you got a... I'm going to tell you, don't give up your guns. Don't do it. Don't do it. And not just guns. Listen. Anyway, listen, do not give up your guns, Kevin. Don't do it. Do not do it. I'm telling you, the moment you give up your weapons, it'll be over. I mean, I don't know how many more elections he really cares to fight, because I'm under the impression that he's probably not going to want to. I mean, if he's stupid, he probably will. I don't know. I don't think he really cares about 2025, which is when the next election is. He's got his little Sambo, Uncle Tom, Jagmeet Singh to protect him, and his NDP puppets. He's got them to protect him up until 2025. The NDP will vote for everything the Liberals put forward up until 2025. So I don't think Trudeau really cares about go beyond 2025, but the damage he can do until then, it will be enough by the time he's gone. First of all, there's nothing. I've already said Canada's under a curse. There's nobody. Pierre Poilievre, Roman Baber, none of these people will be able to lift that curse. And for those of you who don't think that Canada's under a curse, well, you're just naive, or you're just trying to grasp at straws. I've seen it. God has put this country under a curse for all of the wickedness it did, for not even the past few years, but well beyond that. And I mean, it just came to a climax, locking up pastors, locking down churches. I mean, all this burning down, allowing people to burn down churches. I mean, this country's cursed right now. It's under a curse. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But I mean, look, the amount of damage, it can get worse than that. It can always get worse. And the amount of damage that will be done until 2025, don't talk to me about Pierre Poilievre. Don't talk to me about none of them people. They won't be able to do a damn thing about it, even if the curse is lifted. It would be, Canada would literally just crumble. I mean, the people that are running this country are so determined to just destroy us spiritually. I'm telling you, I am honestly, it is not a joke. You're not going to destroy me, but they could probably destroy you. But I say, Canadians, your guns are about the only thing left standing in the way between the tiny little amount of life that you've got right now and complete and utter irreversible stomp down death. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Oh, you think you got it bad now? You think we got it bad now? He ain't seen nothing yet if you give up those guns. And I'm not saying that we need to assassinate Trudeau or anything. Let me, and the only reason why I'm saying that is not because I care about Trudeau's life. I don't care about it. I don't care about him or his family. Well, I do care about his half brother. His half brother had the strength. Maybe he watched Arana Nation, I don't know. But he had the strength to stand up and say, no, I'm against this guy. I'm against him. I love him as my half brother, but I'm against what he's been doing. I'm against what he's done to our freedoms. I'm against all of it. So I support him. So that's one reason why I would not want to see Trudeau to be assassinated. But I don't care about his wife or his children. Let me tell you something. If my parent did even half of the things that Trudeau has done, I don't care if it was my own mother. I came out of my mama's womb. I'd disown her. I would disown her. I would say, Mama, all the stuff you've done, the things that Trudeau have done, I disown you. It's over. If I had children, which I don't have, but if I had children, if I had a son, if I had a daughter, and they did even half of the things that Trudeau has done to them, I'd disown them. Oh, I would disown them. I would never look at them again. They would not be welcomed in my home. They wouldn't step 1 foot in my home. I would kill you if you came to my home. You would not be welcomed in my presence. And if my wife were to secretly be trying to talk to them and have a relationship with them, I'd disown her too. Throw her out of the house. Yes, I would. Throw her ass out. Get a new wife. Well, men can have kids anytime. But I would. I'm dead. I am dead serious. Who you think you're talking to? And I'm not some closed-minded person. I'm an independent, okay? I have friends who are Biden supporters. I have family who are Democrats. In fact, most of my family are Democrats. But I mean, I'm kind of ashamed to say that, but it's fine. I'm not someone, I like people with differing points of view. But the things that this tar-faced Mac Daddy son of a bitch has done, Trudeau, I don't see any difference between him and Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin. And those are things that I don't support either. So, I mean, as much as an open-minded person as I am, I view what the tar-faced Mac Daddy has done with such disgust that if anyone were to do even half of what he did and even support the things that he did, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Don't surrender your guns, and don't flash your guns around either. All right? Keep your guns as a deterrent. Israel, the state of Israel, Zionist Israel, they have a policy when it comes to nuclear weapons. Israel has nuclear weapons, even though officially they don't admit it. Everybody knows they've got it though. but they don't admit that they have it, and they do it because they don't want the world power, America, even though I think America doesn't care if Israel has nuclear weapons. They probably even gave it to them. But way back in the day, when Eisenhower and Kennedy really didn't want anyone other than America, Russia, China, France, and Britain to have nuclear weapons, Israel secretly made them. Made them, yes. And they didn't admit it because they didn't want, inspectors to come into the country and people to maybe even come down hard on them, sanctions, IAEA, all this sort of stuff. Israel said, we don't got it. We don't got nothing. And it's actually illegal in Israel. If you're an Israeli citizen, it's illegal to say that your country has nuclear weapons. They'll throw you in jail, throw away the key. But they want other people to talk about Israel's nukes because it'll act as a deterrent. It's a pretty sneaky and clever thing. These Israelis, they're smart as things. They're not the most ethical people, and I'm against them. Israel, not Jews. Israel, I'm against them. Everybody knows that. But they are smart. They are some smart people. And that's how we have to behave with guns. Don't go around telling people, I've got a gun, I've got a gun. Just keep it in your, keep it in the drawer, keep it somewhere. I don't got nothing. Police come to your door, you got a gun. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. What you talking about? But you want people to think you have guns so that it can act as a deterrent. I'm gonna tell you, you Canadians, do not give up your guns. Don't do it, especially unvaccinated Canadians. I'm gonna tell you, you guys are the ones they're coming for first. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on this matter. This is your